Good morning from Talabont. Singular goal for today is Kevin Eastwood. Youth Hostel. It's just down that track. Down there. Not 100 yards away. And we're going to be heading up through the woods today, so it should be a steady climb. Right up there, up into quarry workings, which should be interesting to try and find us way through the quarry workings. And just behind the quarry is the summit. And then we're going to be heading down a different way, down back into the valley. Okay, it's a beautiful day as you've seen. So hopefully we should get some nice views. Let's crack on. Day 8, I don't know whether I mentioned that, but it is day 8 today. Good morning again. Still on day 8. A nice steady track. Very slowly climbing through the forest of Talabont. Soon enough we're going to hit a trail junction, and then we're going to have to take a slightly different trail up, climbing up onto the rim, and then eventually finding his way into the quarry. Okay, so yesterday, as I've said, quick look at the last one for yesterday. Yesterday was a monster day. I have designed this through hike route, this red line, if you will, to start in Swansea Bay and terminate at Conway. It's been specifically designed for through hiking with backpackers in mind, and so the daily mileage is around about 15 kilometres. The Welsh mountains are not easy, you know, and when you're linking them all together day after day after day, and it becomes hard. And so although some people will be able to do 20-25 kilometres a day, even more maybe, if they're super fit, the route hasn't been designed for that. It's been designed for 8-9 hour days, camping, occasional hostels, occasional bed and breakfasts. It's also been designed where you can hop on and off of public transport, which is very good in this area. It crisscrosses the route regularly. So you can actually use it as section hiking. You can do 4-5 day sections and then return and do another 4 or 5 days, and so on. It's also been taken into consideration resupply. So you can catch a bus into town, do your resupply, either stay the night or catch another bus back out onto trail. So yeah, so far all of that's been working. So yeah, while I was chatting away there, completely missed the turning. Went about 100 yards after. So yeah, we're looking for this signage. Then we go through the vehicle barriers, these big stones, onto this trail, and now we start climbing. Pay attention, David. Okay, so we've just popped out onto the next track, and there's a route going that way and a route going this way with some stones over the culvert, and that's the one we want to be taking, the upper track. So yeah, this is a bit of a gnarly bit, being washed away by the rains. There's a stream just there in the middle of the picture. So go past that stream, through this gnarly bit, and we're on to, excuse me about that, we're on to this trail here. Now on the ordnance maps it shows a trail going that way, which is obviously overgrown. The one that we're wanting is still climbing and goes up this way. Okay, so we've come to another trail junction. As you can see, there's a marker post. Path going down to the right. The path we've just come on is down that way. And we've come to the junction split. Now, excuse me, I think I've got a bit of a peffle going on here, coughing. You would think that it goes left. That climbs steeply and then turns to the left and takes you away from where we need to be. So the one that we need is this one on the right, which looks a bit more overgrown, but that's the one we need. And on the ordnance survey, it's showing boundary walls or fences on either side. And I think as we go up there, we'll see that it's sort of a hollow way with embankments on either side. Okay, let's give that one a go. I've tried that one. No, it don't work. So this is the continuation of that hollow way. It's just starting to get a bit overgrown, but we follow this now all the way until we pop out of the trees on the hillside top. Okay, so we've just come up this track here. We're just popping out of the trees. Another one comes in across this way, and that heads off down there, but we need to keep climbing still, so we're going to go a bit further up, see where that brings us. So the path we've been following has popped us out onto this track, and here we have a sign showing us the way. We're going to Donegal, where incidentally I used to live many years ago. We're following this track and we're going to be heading onto that bit of a ridge for a while before we turn off the Donegal track and then head over to the quarries, which are over this way, and we'll find our way through the quarries to the top. Welsh ponies doing a mumps on the grass. First ones I've seen plenty of pony poo on trail, but not actually any ponies live, as it were. Not alive, but seeing them on trail. Hello. Oh, hello. Another one down here. Incidentally, the mountain in the background is the one we're heading for. Along this track at the moment, which we'll be leaving and then heading over to the quarries. The idea now is to keep this boggy area on our left and follow it around, keeping out of the bog, up that green bit there and onto that track, which is going to lead us up behind this main quarrying area, to the cairns at the back, the big cairns at the back. So I want to be up there somehow. More wild ponies and a foal who was fast asleep when I first approached, but Mama woke him up. So I've got to where the main quarry workings were, just by following that path round. Get to this area with big boulders which are preventing vehicles from getting on. What we need to do now is go straight over here, which will connect up with the trail or the track that's running round, and it goes back around onto behind this hill here. So we're just going to go straight over this hill and link up with that track, and then in front of us there should be a big quarry, and we'll decide what to do then. Okay, so that's sort of the entrance to the quarry, although there's lots of other quarries around us. Put the signs that don't want you to go in there. So there is a track that runs all the way around the outside to the left. It's slightly longer, maybe 200 or 300 meters longer, and then we can go around the back of the quarry to get onto the top. So from a distance you assume that's the top, but it's not, it's further behind. I've just come up the track behind me, I've left the quarry, left the fence, and I've come up this sort of farmer's quad bike trail, which is shown on the map. Got some more ponies over there. I'm now going to head onto that bit of a ridge over there, follow that ridge up, and then from there the summit should be behind and we should be able to see it, and then just head over to it. You can see better now, but this is an area of shake holes. The ground has collapsed, probably a cave underneath, been eroded away by water, and it's just collapsed. I'm just going to head over there, avoiding these shake holes. You often wonder when you come up these isolated hills, obviously it's just a full day just to grab one hill. You often wonder, is it worth it? But from here you can see all the way back from where we started on the Black Mountain, the Carmarthen Fans, Brecon Beacons and Pen y Fan, what we did yesterday afternoon, down the big descent, looking across Usk Valley to the Black Mountains. The flat topped one is Sugarloaf, just above Abergavenny, and I think the other one might be Blorange, not sure. But yeah, there's two big cairns up here as well, ancient cairns. One there, one on this side. They're not in as good a conditions as the one that we've seen, but all the way around. And if we look very, very carefully, in a second or two, you can see the Severn Estuary and England on the other side. Interesting. Great spot, absolutely worth it coming up here. Really, there is only one way out, and it's the main track. In my efforts to keep it short, a shorter distance to try from the summit to get out onto the tarmac, I ended up going all over the place in the quarry, following trails that were leading me down into quarries and coming back again and then down another one and trying to cut across. Now, I need to get back to the area of stones when we first arrived at the quarry. I need to get back to that and then get on the track that goes the opposite direction. And this is what I'm on now. It's a bit of a trek out through this quarry by the looks of it. I've had to ask a few people just to confirm I'm going in the right direction, because on the ordnance maps the tracks lead you all over the place. Yeah, so this is it. This is the only one really. It's going to get us back onto the tarmac and out of here. So we're now well out of the quarry, come along the tarmac, and now we're heading along this escarpment path, the limestone escarpment path. It's sort of grassy, just need to take care in wayfinding, and we'll see how we get on. I spoke to a cyclist earlier and he said he'd used it, was seldom used, so I just need to take care that we're not getting mislaid again. Yeah, it's a nice grassy path. You can see it off in the distance as well. And yeah, should be able to make a decent time on here. There's been a few little camp spots back at the enclosures. You're out of the way of the road. There's water. There's site for one, maybe two small tents. Around the quarrying area there's loads of places to camp. You just need to search for water. But yeah, so far this is okay, and there's a few places up here as well. You might be bothered by the sheep, but there's a few flat spots. I was chatting to a cyclist in the quarry. He lives around here. He's not local, but he does live around here. Comes up here a lot, and he says this is the finest valley in the world. I can see where he's getting his ideas from. So we're descending now down to the Usk, and I'm on. It's a public footpath. There is a path there. It's mainly used by sheep. So yeah, it's okay. We are descending to a pinch point, and then we'll go through farmland down to a narrow road that takes us into town. So the open access land comes right down to this pinch point. It's quite steep that coming down there, and we go through this gate and we head angled at an angle down, I believe, down to that gate there. We are ultimately heading for the farm and the lane. So we've gone through the farm. The two farm buildings that we passed through did have sort of way markers, orange topped posts and that sort of thing to help us get through, and now we're on this lane which is going to lead us into Langarid, which is the village that we're heading for.